First, tying stimulus to unemployment. Is this transparency necessary?
I think it's helpful, actually, and it's not something that was gone unnoticed elsewhere, with Mark Carney, the next Bank of England governor, also talking about the risk of, or the possibility to target nominal GDP instead of just inflation. But yeah, I think it's helpful. If they're not explicitly targeting unemployment, people will speculate that, well, they don't start tightening policy until unemployment's started to go below a certain threshold. So people would have expected them to look at it anyway. It's whether or not this sort of dual target of unemployment rate down to 6.5% and inflation no higher than 2.5%. In theory, they should be bedfellows. With unemployment high, you don't tend to get high inflation as well. But as you can see in the UK, elevated unemployment has been accompanied by elevated inflation. So it's got a bit of a risk of a disconnect between those two. But I think it's great transparency.
Bernanke also still clearly pumping money into the system, but he does seem a little bit more worried than anything else about the fiscal cliff and lack of progress.
So he should be. If the talks fail and we get 3 or 4% of GDP of fiscal tightening, that's going to be a massive, massive drag on economic growth, and monetary policy can do nothing to change that. Even if we get a compromise and it's just 1% of GDP of fiscal tightening, that's roughly what the UK has gone through and on average through the Eurozone, and that will make it very hard for growth to be anywhere near the sort of 2% that the consensus is assuming over the coming year.
Let's turn our attention to the ECB and the banking union. ECB getting power over only 150 out of 6,000 Eurozone banks. Germany looking to have got its way on that. But how significant is this? Just an agreement of any sort to move forward?
Yeah. Well, I think it's sensible to try and target 6,000 banks. Would be a massive, massive manpower operation and cost a fortune. So it's sensible to keep it to a smaller number. And I think it's important. This is kind of the quid pro quo for countries like Germany for signing up to OMTs and possibly an interest rate cut a little bit further down the road. So it does tick a box of, giving something back to the likes of Germany that's been bailing others out. Whether it makes a monstrous difference, I don't know, but it's a tick in the box nonetheless.
Finally, on to Greece then. Will they finally get their next tranche of aid signed off today? It's been a long time coming. We've been seeing this bond rebuying, but have they got there now?
I think they have. I think it'd be absolutely absurd for them to not get it. All the politicians working through the night till 4 a.m, signing all these agreements off, maintaining market sentiment, then all of a sudden to not give Greece the money and give away all the boost to confidence that the markets had. So I think it's a given that they get it.